If I'm late 3 or 4 weeks, or even up to like 5 weeks, I'm totally cool with that. And that matches my messaging. I'm tired of buying someone else's bags, right? Like, oh, you bought Bitcoin at $1 and it went up to 20,000. Good for you, man. That's awesome. You know, I'm glad that your bag pumped really hard. I'm not going to buy your bag off you. I'm going to go make my new better bag. This is crypto. Stupid, terrible shit works in crypto if it's marketed well. And this is marketed well. So if you think about it, what are the problems that cryptocurrency has? Well, no one uses it. Okay, well, that's a problem. Well, why don't they use it? It's super hard to use. Okay, well, what are the other problems? Well, these 80, 85, and 95% dips. It's hard to call it a dip. I mean, it's a euphemism to call an 85 to 95% drop a dip. That's a crash. I mean, a lot of people bought the top, sold the bottom, and will be very angry when it makes new all-time highs again, right? And it just keeps doing this. So how can you design parameters which avoid these problems and make new awesome things that the old thing can't do? So most people don't understand that blockchain is kind of, to some degree, a distributed Ponzi scheme. There are people that get in with the hope of larger rewards. And if you hold longer than 3 years, you get those rewards, historically. I would say that Ponzi's fail because they have debts that they can't pay, and no currency in a crypto can have a debt that it can't pay you, usually, right? Like, I'm tired of buying someone else's bags, right? Like, oh, you bought Bitcoin at $1 and it went up to 20,000. Good for you, man. That's awesome, you know? I'm glad that your bag pumped really hard. I'm not gonna buy your bag off you. I'm gonna go make my new better bag, and I'm going to get it for $0. Unfortunately, I don't get it for $0, right? I had to invent it, and it costs a lot of money to do that. So I'm the only guy that doesn't get it for $0. Everyone else gets it for $0. Because I had fought with this for a while, thinking about how to balance the percentage return against the staker pool. And I'd fought months with a spreadsheet trying different formulas and different shapes of graphs to see what might work best. And then I thought, oh my God, why don't we do it just like Bitcoin with a pool? And I was like, well, man, I just wasted like, like months of spreadsheet playing around and figured out that the way Bitcoin did that part was pretty neat, right? Because it auto balances, right? Like, oh, too many people staking. Well, let's reduce the rewards. Not enough people staking? Okay, let's increase the rewards. And that's just like an inherent property of any pool-based system, right? So if 1% of people stake, you're going to get a 369% return at the end of your stake, on average. If you stake longer than other people, you're going to get more than that because you're reducing their pay and increasing your pay. So this becomes this war for longer stake periods. So if 100% of the tokens locked for a year, then everyone would get 3.69% interest, not including the other bonuses. So there's 2 other profit centers that go into the interest above and beyond the interest from inflation. If you say you're going to stake, you should stake, right? It's like a truth engine is what I call it. But if you can't stake and you have to eject, you're going to pay a penalty, and that penalty is going to go to the rest of the stakers. And it's really half the penalty because another half goes to the origin address. Point is that there's 3 revenue centers if you're a staker. One is the interest, which goes up if less people are staking, down if more people are staking. If people lie or emergency end stake early, you get half of whatever their penalty is. And their penalty is based on how long they staked for. And the reason that's fair is because the longer you stake, the more bonus shares you get, the less money everyone else gets paid. Because now you've got more shares, which means their shares are worth less. So if you stake for a really long time, you get that 20% extra shares per year. You took a risk, right? And then you should fulfill your end of the bargain to get the reward. But if you took the risk, reduced everyone else's payout, then ejected, you're going to get penalized and they're going to get that money. If your stake ends and your shares are in the pool and everyone else is getting paid less because your shares are sitting there, you need to pull those shares out within 2 weeks. If you don't, you start losing a percent of your stake every week, and it goes to the stakers, half of it, right? Now, anyone can pull your shares out of the pool. So anyone could save you from that fate. This is
First,
crypto. Stupid, terrible shit works in crypto if it's marketed well. And this is marketed well. So even if it was horrible, it would work.
I've seen this.
So I could tell you that the fairest way to launch a cryptocurrency is to give it to the widest distribution of people, which is Bitcoin holders, the people that are most likely to hold because they've had the longest period to hold. That's also Bitcoin holders. The people that have the most money, also Bitcoin holders because it has the highest market cap, right? The people that are most likely to have a signature function on their wallet to do this trustless claim, also Bitcoin people, right? So that's all really nice. And that's all really like awesome, right? But there's other reasons, which I'm not that happy to advertise, right? Like freemium. So there's billions and billions and billions of dollars made on free games. Well, how do they do that? Because you come in for the free and you're like, man, look at these graphs. Look at, this is when people are going to come off staking, and this is how many percent I'm going to make. And you know, how many people are paying these penalties and what's their average return. And you just get sucked into the mind space of it because there's so many more things to look at. And then you see the gains and you're like, man, I want more of these gains. Maybe I should sell some of that thing and buy some more of this thing. So even if you're the hardest core Bitcoin maximalist, some part of you sees these mad gains and is like, yeah, I want a taste of that shit. Maybe I'll put 2 or 3% on it, right? And everyone does that, right? And so all of the awesome, like, good things I mentioned, they're great. But for me as a marketer, I care about the freemium. I want you addicted to this. Binance has 2 cold wallets. They both use 3 addresses. And they're both not multi-sig, which is rare. So I can support, I'm 98% sure that I can support Binance claiming the BitcoinHEX tokens for their clients at a large discount. They're going to get hit with a whale penalty. They're going to lose 75% of their stack because it's over 10,000 coins. And they're going to lose 2% of their stack every week they don't claim, just like everybody else. But at some point, if the guys at Binance want to sign a simple signature, they'll get, 200,000 or 300,000 Bitcoin worth of BitcoinHEX, and be able to give that to their clients. And that's good for them. Most business ideas suck. Most business ideas are terrible.
Yes.
I hear them all day long, yeah. So your market demographic shifts, right? So right now, the sales pitch for the product, in my opinion, sucks. Because I'm giving away free money to Bitcoin maximalists, we're very hateful. So a small portion of those people likes free money, and they claimed their lumens, top 10 crypto, XRP, which anyone could have got by filling out an email address, top 10 crypto, Bitcoin Cash, sad as it is, top 10 crypto, right? Free money has been given out over and over and over again. And some people are smart enough to take it, and some people are too stupid. Okay, well, I can give you the opportunity, but I'm only going to give that opportunity for a little while. And if you don't take it, fuck off. You can market buy and FOMO just like everyone else when the 50 weeks is up. Every interview I've done is people that have reached out to me, right? So I've done no interviews in a push format, no marketing budget spent whatsoever, right? I've already, wait till you see how this thing takes off when people start getting instantly rewarded for the referral program. So I'll tell you why that's going on. One, the amount of time it takes to finish a project is directly related to the amount of time you allot to it. And if you allot more time to the project, it takes longer to finish. So there's this art between overpressuring your developers and where they just burn out, and letting them know, look, we actually have to finish. So we need to think less and write more, right? So that's a fine art to do. And then there's another art of getting people interested in something that takes a while to learn about, right? So to understand just the game theory of this, it's got to take you a while. If I'm late 3 or 4 weeks, or even up to 5 weeks, I'm totally cool with that. And that matches my messaging. So my messaging is look, I don't know that the auditors it's on the bottom of the website under status. I don't know if the auditors are going to be available. I can't make them work any faster than they do. I think they can do their work in 3 weeks. We haven't even locked the code to submit it to them yet. We're still doing testing internally. So I'm very truthful about my estimates, right? But like once I start a timer, what are my options, right? My options are to either, so this Monday, it's going to go from 4 weeks to 3 weeks, and I have to choose. Am I going to say, look, man, this is going to take some extra weeks, or am I just going to be like, yo, we're not going to rotate the timer this week? I haven't decided which. Oh, yeah. No, we have a private testnet. So like the functions work. We have a private testnet. The code is very close to being complete, but you can't, if you add a new feature, like, yeah, we're going to let 3 addresses claim. Okay, well then our test UTXO set doesn't have 3 addresses in it. So we have to run a new test UTXO set. And then you run it and you're like, oh, we also need it to like stop deleting these scripts because we need to do this thing. And then it just cascades into this small change of just letting 3 addresses claim, which adds 5 million coins.